What's good with it, y'all? It's Coffee. I'm back with an update, man. So yesterday we saw Fat Joe become the next rapper with wild allegations emerging against him, right? We got all these rappers fighting Ricos. We got Diddy on trial. It was started from a lawsuit, you know what I mean? And that's what the deal is here with Joe. We saw some months back, there were these social media posts that came out that highlighted some lyrics of him talking about grooming an underage girl and all this ish. And now this former hype man, Terrence T.A. Dixon, has now sued Joe, as Joe sued him over the social media posts for slander and all that. And now he has this 157 pages of court documents. I covered it in another video. I'll link it below, where he's talking about him basically running like something that would be prosecuted by RICO, like flying underage girls in and out of the country, getting them plastic surgeries, paying their phone bills, all this kind of ish, like a straight ex trafficking ring. You know what I mean? And apparently, in that lawsuit, which Joe is fighting, he's got Tacopina, the guy that beat the case for ASAP Rocky. Apparently, in that lawsuit, there's also this, because remember, Joe and Fifth had beef, right? And he says right here that Joe was like trying to body 50 Cent. It says, oops, Fat Joe accused of trying to hire someone to murder 50 Cent. Former hype man says Joe would keep tabs on 50's performances in an attempt to ambush him in public. And you see Fifth, they done squashed the beef after the death of Chris Lighty, which that's a whole nother story, man. There's a lot of people that think there's more to that story. Let me know if you're one of them, right? But he says, Fifth says, these baseless accusations and claims are not credible. I'm sorry Joe has to endure this public scrutiny and damage to his reputation. This is a stick up. Wrote this hook, and I should have kept this one. And then you see 50 or Peter Guns in the comments throwing up fire emojis, Hocus for Fifths in there. Not the Young Buck song. Is that because I pop my shit, putting prices on my head. You know what I mean? Because I can't play it. Obviously, they'll flag it or whatever. But Fifth is playing that, clowning about people putting prices on his head, and that's part of the lawsuit too. Is this Terrence T.A. Dixon, this hype man, says that Joe erased him out of song credits and stuff, robbing him of his royalties, and he also names Rock Nation and Jay-Z being complicit. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of allegations in here. Something like straight up ex trafficking. He named Pistol Pete, longtime Terror Squad representative in it. There's all kinds of ish, man. It's a hell of a lawsuit, and the attorney that the hype man has is someone who was behind a suit against Diddy and then is also now representing Diddy. So it's some heavyweight lawyers in here. Like we said, Tacopina, the guy that got ASAP Rocky off, they're calling him ASAP Joe because he's ASAP Joe Tacopina, right? He's worked on both sides as prosecutors, as a defense attorney. You know what I mean? That was a big win. ASAP Rocky was fighting a serious case there, and they offered him a sweet deal with probation and all this, and he said, nah, man, I'm going to trial. But Fifth says, like, at the end of the day, this is a baseless claim. He's co-signing Joe that this is all cap, you know what I mean? Because they had a heated beef, but they're cool now. And we know 50 Cent, if there was any, if someone says, is this sarcasm or not? Because let's face it, 50 Cent is a comedian, especially on Instagram. So if there was any, hint that this could be true, he would probably crack some jokes. But that's what this person is questioning. Is Fifth just being sarcastic, or is he really trying to support Joe through this time? Like, what do y'all think? You know what I mean? They're cool now, but they had a heated beef for quite some time, man. G-Unit has been involved in some real deal beefs. Just ask Tony Yayo, man. My Duke's crib got shot up and all that, man. That's why we always see Fifth calling out Jimmy the Rat. You know what I mean? But what do you guys think? Was he being sarcastic, or is he really trying to support Joe? Someone says this Buck album was fire. I can't tell if 50 is being petty or sincere. Damn, 202 replies on this. Someone says just said the same ish. That beef been squash. Always assume petty. We talking about petty 50 here. So people are basically saying, yo, he's joking. that maybe at one time it was like that Joe did have prices on his head. You know what I mean? I can hear you on that. Definitely should have kept this one. I know a 50 Cent hook when I hear one. So, just like in this, because I popped my shit from that, you know what I'm saying, Young Buck project. Fifth is also, I guess, commenting on that, hey, this was my hook. I let Young Buck take it. You know what I mean? We know he's been jamming Young Buck into court with bankruptcy claims and him still owing money underneath the G Unit banner and all that and contractually holding him up. Young Buck, what a dumb bastard to fluck up the deal with G Unit, fall out with Fifth, then be a part of the reunion, then fall out all over again. You know what I mean? But he's relating to that too with the hype man saying Joe stole tracks from him and all that. So there y'all have it. Comment. What do you think? Was Fifth just clowning or is he serious? Have you checked into the lawsuit again? I'll pin something low below that goes into more depth with the allegations. It's some wild ish. It's crazy too because the guy worked for Fat Joe for like 16 years, and he's saying that he firsthand witnessed Joe being active with someone underage, and it was like, you were cool with that. And he also says that Joe made him, partake in weird-ish like humiliation ritual type stuff. A lot of the same stuff we've heard in Diddy allegations, you know what I mean? But it's like, you were cool with all that weirdo-ish until now. Y'all ain't cool. Now you're speaking out, like, but you were complicit in it before, you know what I mean? But it's the end of the day, Fat Joe, he gets all kinds of brand deals and stuff like that, and having those allegations out there can have a lot of people, even if they're not credible, say, yo, we're going to take a time out. I'm fucking with you, man. You know what I mean? But it's a wild situation nonetheless. Stay tuned for updates. Hit the comments, sub up, and I get with y'all on the next one. Peace.